बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। नूर मौलाना शाह करीम हुसैनी हाजिमा, मुश्किल कुशा मेहरबान मौला मदद फरमा। हस्बुनल्लाह व निअमल वकील व निअमल मौला व निअमन नसीर। हस्बुनल्लाह व निअमल वकील व निअमल मौला व निअमन नसीर। हस्बुनल्लाह व निअमल वकील व निअमल मौला व निअमन नसीर। हस्बुनल्लाह व निअमल वकील व निअमल मौला व निअमन नसीर। हस्बुनल्लाह व निअमल वकील व निअमल मौला व निअमन नसीर। हस्बुनल्लाह व निअमल वकील व निअमल मौला व निअमन नसीर। हस्बुनल्लाह व निअमल वकील व निअमल मौला व निअमन नसीर। Yari Madad to all friends.
Wala Madad.
Wala Madad, Maima.
Yari Madad, Yari Madad. We are gathered here today to study our book Proof of Imamat, and we are still on the chapter Principle of Excellence, and today we will be studying point number 5, G. Who is reading today?
I am. Yeah.
Like that.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Point 5, evidence from the religions of the world. What do the religions of the world testify by their circumstantial state? The answer to this question is that in this world, there is no religion without a founder whom the adherents love and believe in. The implicit meaning in their beliefs, rites, and ritual today is that had the founder or someone like him, or at least someone inferior to him, been living now, they would have been in comparatively better position. Further, there is no religion in this world whose basic necessities do not indicate that for the sake of religious and worldly guidance, the existence and presence of the true guide, the Imam, is extremely necessary. Thus, the principle that people should have recourse to a so-called religious guide in religious problems still dominates every religion. The state of the religions of the world is an irrefutable proof of the fact that the concept of imamat is absolutely correct. And in this connection, those who have a living and present imam are in the right. This natural requirement of the religions of the world that the existence of the true guide is necessary is a sign of the universe whose meaning no wise person can deny, and it explains the Quranic verse, O Prophet, verily you are a warner, and for every people of every age there is guide. Chapter 13, verse 7.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah. So this is point number 5, evidence from the religions of the world. What evidence we are looking for in this paragraph? Remember, we are talking about principle of excellence. If we were to look at any religion in the world, definitely they would have a leader, a founder. Without them, the religion will not work out. It will not have a center where people can believe in. They have a founder to follow. Further, there is no religion in this world whose basic necessities do not indicate that for the sake of religion and worldly guidance, the existence and the presence of the true guide, the Imam, is extremely necessary. Just by taking the example of all the religions, we see that there has to be a center. and founder who gives them rites and rituals so they can follow and they can believe in. No other can replace that position. Every religion does need guidance for the religion as well as worldly guidance. If we just look at the example of history and take the example of Muslim Ummah and take the example of Prophet Muhammad's time, those who followed the Prophet Muhammad the way at that time the Sunnah was, they were following the religion according to the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad. Those who did not continue, they did not follow the chain of the light of Imamat, the Janashin of the Prophet Muhammad. We are able to see how scattered the Muslim Ummah has become. We take any example in the form of the rites and rituals, or we take the form, the way they live their life, worldly life, forget about the religious life, worldly life. There's a lot of chaos and confusion. Why? Because they have lost that center, that founder who keeps the Jamaat united. If I just share an example with you, that during the time of when the Pakistan was, being talked about to be made an independent country from Indo-Pak, at that time, Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah was working with Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, and they were talking about Aligarh University. And in all that dialogues, in the meetings which were happening with the British people and Hindu and Muslims, and Imam was helping out. Imam was working with Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, and at that time, all these Muslim fanatics, they said that we do not want to eat with British people, English people, and we want to follow the Sunnah of the Prophet, and we are Muslim, and we are this, and we are that. And he was so confused, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. So he talks to Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah, and imagine the age difference. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan is very, very older guy, and Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah is younger. And he's saying, I am so lost. How can we have this meeting between Muslims and English and Hindus, because we need to talk about our plan. How can we have this meeting together? And Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah says, what is the problem? And when Sir Syed Ahmad Khan tells him that all these Muslim Ummah leaders, they are saying that they follow their religion and their rights, and they want to follow the Sunnah of the Prophet. And Imam says, very simple, very easy. And he tells him what to do. On the day when the meeting is planned and all these English people are coming and they are walking into the room where there's a dining table and all the food are displayed on the table and they're eating and drinking. Whereas whenever the Muslim leaders entered, they were directed to another room in the side. That room had no chairs, no table, just a white sheet on the floor and the dates and water. That's it. When they came in and they're seeing all these people are enjoying the food and all the festivities they're going on, and they have just dates and water, and they asked, why do we not have the food? And very politely Sir Syed Ahmad Khan says, this is what is the tradition of our Prophet, our Sunnah. The point I'm trying to make, that whenever there is no founder, there is no center in the religion, when there is no true guide, what happens? There is confusion, there is chaos, there is disunited Jamaat. All the problems today we see in Ummah, unfortunately, one of the biggest and important reason is that there is no center, there is no guide, there is no imam there is no true guide who guides people according to the time. We are also Muslim, but we live with the time because we are people of time. Ibnul Waqt. Why we are able to do that? Why we have progressed so much? Because the true guide, the imam, is with us to guide us. Thus, the principle that people should have recourse to a so-called religious guide in religious problems still dominates every religion. We do need a religious guide to guide us. This state of the religions of the world is an irrefutable proof of the fact that the concept of imamat is absolutely correct. The concept of imamat is given in Quran. It is being mentioned by every Natik. Imam has always been there from the day one. Imams are always present. This world would not last without Imam. In every religion, it was emphasized that there has to be a guide. Now, people have not understood it, changed it, it's up to them. We can only take the example of Quran right now, which clearly says that for every age, for every time, there has to be Imam, there has to be a guide. Where is that central personality? Where is that guide? Living guide. Only Smileys are that tariqa where we have Imam living with us, guiding us according to the time. And in this connection, those who have a living and a present Imam are in the right, no doubt about that. This natural requirement of the religions of the world that the existence of the true guide is necessary is a sign of the universe whose meaning no wise person can deny. And it explains the Quranic verse, O Prophet, verily you are a warner, and for every people, meaning of every age, there is guide. I was thinking of chapter 17, verse 71, which talks about every nation would be called with their imam. But here we are learning about another verse, chapter 13, verse 7, that for every people, meaning people of every age, there is a guide. So amazingly, we are understanding that when we compare all the religions of the world, the excellent religion, the excellent tariqa is the one where there is a living guide, and that is Ismaili tariqa, where we have living Imam guiding us according to the time. And that is how we are united, we are progressing, we are happy, and we are walking on the path of Sirat al-Mustaqim. Why? Because we are at the level of excellence. Principle of excellence is present in our tariqa. Ji.
Point 6. Evidence from political organizations. There has always been some ruler or the other, whether an autocratic king or a president of a republic, or a chief of a tribe, whether in a religious position or a worldly position. In every situation, the existence of a ruler is necessary, since otherwise the honor, respect, family, property, and life of the people and the country will not be free from danger. Thus, the existence of political organizations and their importance is among the signs of the external world, which explains that the true religion is the one whose sovereign is always miraculously living and present. If worldly protection is not possible without a worldly ruler, even though worldly affairs are comparatively easy, then it is obvious that the protection of religion is more difficult without a religious sovereign, since religious problems are more complex. Thus, the sign of external world explains the Quranic verse in which the existence of the vicegerent of God on the surface of the earth is mentioned. O Daud, verily we have appointed you a vicegerent in the earth, so judge between the people with justice. Chapter 38, verse 26.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. You know how amazing it is that when we are talking about principle of excellence and we are looking for excellence in every aspect, find the proofs. And very interestingly, this is very, very interesting point that even in the political organization, when we look at people living in different countries, every country does need a ruler to keep people together, to have protection, to flourish the people of that country, have respect, family, property. We do need a ruler in the country, in the political sense, political organization to keep our lives organized, protected. If the physical worldly lives need this leader to protect, to guide, to protect our rights, similarly in the religion also, we need a true guide who would protect us spiritually, who would guide us spiritually. And that miraculously is the living and the present Imam. How blessed we are as Ismailis. We may not realize that until we have the true recognition of Imam with knowledge that how blessed we are that we are with the Imam-e-Zaman. And it's very clear that in the worldly life, protection is not possible if there were not to be a ruler, or if there were not to be any laws by the ruler. What will happen to people? They'll be stealing, theft, killing, anything and everything. No law would be there. The physical lives are better when there is a ruler in the worldly sense. Our worldly affairs are made easy for us and the life is kind of livable. Similarly, in the religious matters, we also need a guide. Now, religious matters are much more problematic. They are much more complex. Why? Because religion is so individual as well. And our tariqah being the tariqah of batin, it is not about the physical practices. We are expected to understand the batin of the religion and elevate and understand, progress in our batni journey. How can we on our own understand these subtleties, these complexities, and elevate ourselves? And then do also realize and learn the dynamism which is happening in the religion. Quran, if you just take the Quran, which is the center for Muslim Ummah, the book itself was written 1400 years ago. How does that book applies to us in today's time? How that book is book of guidance for today? Only the Imam can help us understand the ta'wil of the Quran so we can live life according to today's time. According to today's time. It is very complex task. Just because we have the Imam, the vicegerent of God, Khalifa of God, who guides us. And very beautifully here we are reading about Hazrat Dawood alayhi salam. Hazrat Dawood alayhi salam, who was a prophet, he was not a natik, he was a prophet. And Allah says in Quran that verily we have appointed you a vicegerent in the earth. He was actually chosen as Khalifa. This word vicegerent, we've been reading and listening about Adam. Adam was also vicegerent in the earth. He was the Janashin of Allah. And for Dawood also this word is used. For every Imam we use vicegerent, meaning that the true religion of Allah, which is called Dawat-e-Haq, it has never been without a guide. It has always been with guides who were sent by Allah, the guides who were selected by Allah. There is no election but selection. The guides are sent by Allah. He chooses them and they guide us according to our time, according to our need. Hazrat Dawud alayhi salam became the prophet in a very strange time, when the whole Ummah at that time was under chaos. Hazrat Shamuel alayhi salam was the prophet at that time. And at that time, we do know the story of Hazrat Dawood alayhi salam. How was he chosen as a young child? And this young child of 7, 8 years old, who is walking towards the path, and the stones on the path are talking to him, asking him, pick me, pick me. And he picks those stones and then he throws one stone with the sling, and this Goliath, which is a big, huge man, just one stone hitting him in his forehead and he falls down. Why are we talking about this story? So we can understand that during that time when Hazrat Dawood alayhi salam had killed Goliath, the whole population at that time were going through chaos because there was no proper leadership at that time. People were struggling. And Hazrat Dawood alayhi salam was chosen to lead people politically and spiritually. But the example which we do need to focus on, the way the story goes, that Hazrat Dawood alayhi salam was asked to defeat this Goliath. What is the ta'wil of the whole story? What are we understanding? The importance of the story is that the stone which were saying to him, pick me, is the misal, is the example of Isme Azam. And Goliath is an example of our carnal soul, which is very huge, very big. But because of the power of the Isme Azam, Hazrat Dawood alayhi salam was able to defeat Goliath. He was able to defeat Goliath. In other words, what we are saying, that whoever is chosen by Allah, they have this ability to not only lead people in the worldly matters, but also in the spiritual matters. And Imam, being the Imam, he is our spiritual guide. He gives us the Isme Azam. That is the treasure which no one has in this physical world. And in every point in time, historically, we have seen that Imams have led the worldly people too. But after Prophet Muhammad, the physical leadership went to Khalif, Hazrat Abu Bakr, and the spiritual leadership stayed with Imam. Through the principle of Nurun Allah Nur, Imams have always guided us. Though we are living in different countries, Imam does not have any physical leadership. He is not a political leader, but all the political leadership recognizes Imam as the leader of the world, leader of the world. All these is possible for Imam because he is the embodied Nur of Allah. So to summarize these 2 points, which are very interestingly different from normal studies, that when we take the example of the evidences of different religions in the world, or if we take the example of the political organization in the world, both the examples, both the evidences prove to us that Imam is needed. Without Imam, there is no principle of excellence. There is just chaos, unorganization, unprotection, no safety. And we are looking at the world, how the world is, living. And every time in any country, if there is any difficulty, they call upon Hazi Imam to visit them, to guide them, smiley or non-smiley. It is Imams, it is his personality that we can see at the level of principle of excellence in every and any aspect. Let us take the example of all the religions in the world or the political organizations. It is Imam. Due to him, everything is working, everything is functioning. If Imam is not there, it will not survive, it will not last. That is the beauty of understanding this verse when it says 13/7, O Prophet, verily you are a warner, and for every people of every age there is a guide. So Prophet Muhammad came as a warner. He warned people to believe in Allah and to believe in Imam. But people who did not do that, we can see how lost the humanity is. Let us stop here if there is any question. Next point is evidence of the Prophet. It's a long one. So inshallah we can start that in the next class. If we have no question, no comments, then we can end here. Ya Ali Madad.
Thank you, Yalmada.
Thank you, Molali Mother.
Thank you, Yali Madad.
Yali Madad. Thank you, Yali Madad.
Thank you, Bye Ma. Yali Madad.
Yali Madad, Yali Madad.